One brotherhood, one ship. Stay bearded, stay feeling. One brotherhood, one ship. Stay bearded, stay feeling. It's BV, it's BV, BV, it's BV, yeah. It's BV, it's BV, BV, it's BV, it's BV.
It's BV and Jellified, Jimmy Beam and Bly, reaching high as where we reach, yo, as high as to the stars. Beats in the villain Jeep, vibrating other cars. Whose world is this? Yo, we say the world is ours. So we grow beards, no fear, photos so clear. Take another shot, so to speak, yeah, more beer. BV worldwide, put a fist to the sky. Cheers, cheers, New Year's, dope rhyme, good vibes. My crew speaks power, Chi-Town bleeds power. Knowledge, wisdom, and truth in the final hour. Respect, loyalty, family, charity speaks power. Here the village brotherhood speaks honor. Forwards and onwards, stay villain to the end. I will never shave again because my beard is not a trend. I represent excellence, leadership, and never follow. I'm a BBC member, yo, lieutenant of Chicago.
One brotherhood, one ship. Stay bearded, stay villain. One brotherhood, one ship. Stay bearded, stay villain. It's BV, 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 it's BV. Yo, all I see.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 98 of The Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the bearded villains worldwide brotherhood and the lives they are changing all over the world. Happy Friday night, guys. This is, wow, check your calendar. Check your calendar. This is the last episode in the month of August 2021. Where I say this every month, but where in the hell did this year go? 2021 is flying by. And geez. September already? September's here? It just doesn't seem right. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is your Friday night live show. We're only going to be doing this 2 more times after tonight on Friday nights. That's right. If you remember, up until episode 100, we're going to be on Friday nights. After episode 100, episode 101, we're kicking it back to Thursday nights. And stay tuned, we might be kicking it back an hour later as well. So we'll see how things go. But guys, episode 98, these last few episodes have just kind of trickled by, but I know we've been watching it. I got the little counter up in that corner of the screen right there. I got the little counter and we're at 98, countdown to 100. Thank you guys so much for taking some time out of your Friday night. I know there's a million other things that you guys could be doing, but you choose some reason you choose to be here hanging out with me. And I greatly appreciate it. Otherwise, I'd just be talking to this little camera myself. And, I wouldn't be any the wiser, except nobody be commenting here in the live stream. But I'd just pretend that maybe the comments were broken or something. And if you guys weren't here, I'd be doing it anyway. But it's so much more fun that you're here. And I can see comments coming in and people contributing to this podcast. Guys, remember, I've always said this. This thing is as much yours as mine. I feel like a broken record saying that. But, let's be honest. Where would this podcast be if not for you guys? If not for the listeners, if not for the people who listen but yet contribute? Perfect example of that tonight with our two guests that we'll be interviewing here shortly. But it truly is. It sounded like some kind of wishy-washy language early on when I said it around episode 8, when I said this is much yours is mine, when a lot of people just didn't know where this thing was going to go and how long it would last. Well, nearly 100 episodes and 2 years later, here we are, a weekly live stream podcast. And like I said, it's all because of you guys. It's because of the support that you guys have given me. And it's because of the amazing things that those of you who are in the Brotherhood of the Bearded Villains or support the Brotherhood of the Bearded Villains. And I'm talking about brothers. I'm talking about sisters. I'm talking about the queens. I'm talking about villainettes. I'm talking about spouses. Everybody that supports what we do and what we're about. People that give us time away from families. Families that give up time of their own free time to contribute and to take part in what we do. It's all one big happy circle. So thank you guys. I can't say thanks enough. So happy Friday night, episode 98. And that's that. I have to take a few seconds out to, as I do every week, to give thanks specifically to everybody here who is live that I can see. If you're not logged into YouTube or you're not actively commenting, I don't know you're here. I will say thank you and thank you, but I don't know you're here, so I can't call you out by name. And if your name is something weird under the YouTube algorithm, then I'm just going to call you on that. Probably. Rob is in the house, man. How you doing, Rob? Fist bumps from Chris. Good to see Chris in the house here, hanging out with us. Nick is here. How we doing? Joker's hanging out with us. Can't wait to see Joker again here soon. Going to be hanging out with him. Good times. Mars is in the house. How's things up north? Hopefully doing pretty well. He had a nice little release we'll talk a little bit about in a few minutes. And no, I don't mean a personal release. The chapter release of chapter merch came out a little earlier today for Mars and the boys up north. We'll talk about that in a few. Misfit Tony's here. Mr. Ramsey's checking in with us. He had to go eat dinner, but he's going to be back. So everybody stay tuned. Derek, how you doing? Good to see you here. Mr. Bearded Irishman, I hope you are hopefully back up to 100%, healing well. You're looking fit in those pictures you're posting, buddy. Mr. Marsala, how you doing? Good to see you. Abe, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Oh, okay. So the Bearded Irishman has confirmed he's surviving. He's surviving. Good to hear. All right, guys. I hope I'm not missing anybody else. Like I said, if I am missing you, I do apologize. But thanks so much for being here. With episode 98, I'm going to skirt real quick through the merch stuff that I do have. Now, I will give an apology because somebody, I won't call out any names, but he's in Canada and he's up north, and I just mentioned his name. Who did a release today, Guys, if you want me to include your chapter release, your chapter merch in my weekly podcast in the live stream, so I can bring it up on the screen and show you some cool stuff and talk about the prices and whatnot, try not to send me that message while the countdown timer's going on. Try to maybe, hey, that I'm not going to leak your information. Maybe give me the night. Maybe give me 24 hours. At the very least, give me like 12 hours. Shoot me the pictures, shoot me the videos so that I can integrate it into the live stream. You guys have seen before the chaotic mess sometimes that I'm dealing with all the way up until the beginning of this show. So sometimes with computer problems, it's very rare that I'm able to just sit and relax for like the last half hour going into the podcast, into the live stream. Usually some glitch happens and I have to sort it out. So please, for me and for my sanity, so that I can do right by you guys, do me a favor and don't send me those images and hope that I can get them on tonight, 5 minutes from now, because I can't. There is a way for me to do it, I'll be honest, but I want to punish you a little bit when you try that stuff on me. No, really, what it comes down to is once I go live, I don't want to try to import anything else from an outside source coming into the live stream for fear that it might send a glitch and then the whole live stream goes spiraling downhill. So that's what that is. So if you do have stuff, please send it to me at least 12 hours in advance. That's my disclaimer. Mars. Okay, he outed himself. If nobody could catch the clues that I was giving, but yes, I will mention it though. I will mention it, and I will direct everybody where to go to see said merchandise, for sure. But I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Guys, if this is your first time here live, make sure that you have liked and subscribed to this here podcast, to this channel, because that's where you're going to get all those alerts, all the fun stuff. Down the road here a little bit, I've been talking a little bit about the possibility of some little teasers coming out, some little tiny clips as I get through the process of making the documentary film. There might be some stuff here, but you don't want to miss it. If I'm putting something together that's a teaser from an interview that I did that's a really good interview, you don't want to miss it. It's here. It'll be here. So, okay, I have to mention this. I have to put you up on the screen for that one right there. Mars likes it when BP punishes me. Of course he does. Of course he does. All right, guys. Again, thank you. I said it a million times. Episode 98. Thank you so much for being here. I can't. I'm going to roll right into some merch. Some of this merch is brand new. Some of it is ending tonight. Some of it I think is still out there. If it's not, go out to the site anyway to find out, because as of today, I think everything else is here. So I'm going to go here first. I believe this is still out there. The BV Unicorn Squad, bvunicornsquad.bigcartel.com. They were doing a patch and t-shirt, raising money for the Padre Foundation. To my knowledge, it's still available. Please get these guys their patches and shirts. Get out there, help out a little bit, and do some donations. So that's been out there for a bit. This one here ends tonight. If you want to pick up a snapback or a flex fit cap from the Bearded Villains New York Upstate chapter, really cool version of their logo on the side profile. Customized stitch type thing going on. $31. Hit up the Bearded Villains New York Upstate chapter, bvnewyorkupstate.bigcartel.com. Ends tonight. Don't go right now, but go right after the podcast. So if you're interested in one of those. Also, don't forget, this is the last episode where I'm going to be talking about these two patches. These are patches numbers 5 and 6, if I'm not mistaken, for the huge puzzle piece autism patch release that's coming together. And these are the last two. The next month, when it rolls over to September, we're going to have two new puzzle patch pieces. So right now, still available, but who knows afterwards. I won't be talking about them, unfortunately, but pick them up. Bearded Villains Northern Virginia, the Nova patch, bvnova.bigcartel.com, $9. And then the Oregon patch as well, Bearded Villains Oregon, beardedvillainsOregon.bigcartel.com. Next thing I have up for you just popped up this week. Pretty cool. We don't see, maybe, I don't know, you Rainside guys over in the West Washington area. It's few and far between. Not a huge merch releasing chapter all the time. So when they get it, when they send it out, take advantage. And now's your chance. They have 3 different shirts. I think they still have patches on their site right now too that are available. $25 to $27 depending on your size and depending on what your color you want. They have 3 different colors: blue, green, and very, very stunning pink. So hit these guys up. bvwwa.bigcartel.com. bvwwa.bigcartel.com. That's for that one. All right, guys. I'll tell you what I want to do. I just want to get into the meat and potatoes of the episode. And I'm going to say this as a disclaimer. Most of you who know me, you know my background in law enforcement. And I'm the first to say and the first to give credit to anybody who has taken that oath, raised their hand, and said, I will stand in the line of fire for your country. That has taken that oath to say, yes, me, I will go. And I have the utmost respect for anybody who has taken that challenge. So our veterans are people that we need to always give credit to. We always have to consider them, and we always have to look up to them because they made a choice. There's no draft anymore. And at some point in their life, they made a choice. And today, to this date, no matter how long ago they were in, no matter how long ago they came out of the military, so many of them are scarred inside and out. And they hold wounds sometimes that you'll never see. So they deserve our absolute respect. Now, I have tried for every single one of these episodes to try and stay away from politics. And while I did not want to steer a conversation toward a political end, because I think that can be a detriment to the brotherhood that we have. Everybody has their own opinion, but when politics are involved, people get very, very defensive. And so that's not where I wanted to go with this. What I wanted to do was speak with a few of our brothers who served, specifically in this part of the country or in this part of the world that is affected right now by current regime changes and the current change of tide that's happening. And I know there's been a lot of talk in the news, online, and social media, with raising questions about what was it for, people questioning their own worth, people questioning their own worth as a person, as a soldier. Why did they do it? Why did they go? And I don't think that's fair. So I wanted to take a chance and talk to some brothers who were willing to come on and talk to me a little bit about their feelings and have a heart-to-heart conversation trying to stay away from the political side, but just try and get firsthand accountability, firsthand accounts from them, what their experiences were, and take a positive spin on it toward the end of the conversation to figure out how we can move forward. Because what's done is done now. And the path that is being taken, chosen for those people over there, whether they want to or not, it seems to be a path that cannot be corrected right now. And so I wanted to have this conversation. And so two of my brothers in Bearded Villains, two of your brothers, Chris from Bearded Villains, Southern Indiana, and Cody from Bearded Villains, Nova, were willing to talk to me a little bit about their experiences while in the U.S. Army. And it's sometimes not easy to talk about, but I felt it was important with the timeliness of this, just to give a step back and have a serious talk on this episode 98. So I hope you guys can just sit back and listen to this conversation I had with Chris and Cody, keeping in mind that sometimes when you bring multiple people on, the video part of the interview lags a little bit. Anybody that's listening to this interview in a regular podcast platform, you won't know the difference. So try not to be too critical over the fact that at times during the video portion, their mouth isn't completely isn't jiving exactly with what they're saying. But most important, listen to their words. Listen to what they say. Okay, I have two very special guests today with me. In the light of current international events going on and the fact that so many of our brothers in the Bearded Villain community are veterans, I wanted to reach out to a couple and just try to have a very down-to-earth, very heart-to-heart conversation about what's going on right now and get some honest, some raw opinions from guys that have been there. So please help me welcome from the Bearded Villains of Southern Indiana, Chris, and from BV Nova, Mr. Savvy Villain, otherwise known as Cody. How you guys doing?
What's up, guys? What's up, man? Doing all right. Doing all right. Finally got my babies asleep, so I'm like have an ear out listening.
All right, I hear it. I know how that is. You have to have one ear over here and one ear over there.
Yeah.
So if you can, Cody, you first. Explain to our listeners what you were both. I know we spoke off air. You're both Army, but can you give us your rundown of how long you were in, what your specialty was, and where you served?
Oh yeah. Well, I joined in '09, shortly after high school. Went Army, combat engineer, so I did route clearance. In 2013, deployed to Afghanistan. Oh no, I'm sorry, 2012 to 13. I was in Afghanistan, and then got out shortly after that. So
And Chris?
that was my run.
I joined the Army in '97, mechanic all the way, convoy security and recovery. I served in Iraq in 2003 and then again in 2005 and 2006.
All right. Well, guys, I can't thank you guys enough for being here. I can't thank you enough for your service. And I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you.
Because I think I've heard it many times before from so many vets that I have the most respect for, is that the last thing that a veteran really wants to hear is from somebody else that says, well, I would have liked to have served, but and I know that's an old story. I know that's something you guys like to hear from other people. So I won't even go with that route, but just to say that I respect you guys and thank you guys so much for your service and your dedication.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Um,
And
Cody, if you can, I'm going to ask you real quick first, and then I'll move over to Chris and get your guys' opinion. Feel free to kind of bounce ideas off each other based off of your experiences. But Cody, what does it feel like to you, having spent so much time over there in the Middle East, and to see what our goal was supposed to be and what it kind of ended up as? The seeming difference between that, and then where we are today, where we're just kind of up and just taking off and leaving.
Man. Well, so I guess the big thing for me is you don't hear about a lot of the good things that we did while we were over there. Mostly media always focuses on the negative, negative, negative. So to see all the good things that we've done, for instance, we helped rebuild schools. There's kids that we walked to school. That was the very first time their entire life they had ever been to school, ever, and I got to be a part of that. Um, we would fill backpacks up with candy and learning books and stuff like that and pass it out. Um, it was we rebuilt a lot. I mean, you see a lot of stuff that gets torn up, but as engineers as well, there was a lot of stuff we had to rebuild. So there was a lot of positive stuff that happened over there, and just to kind of see it go to waste as well with the blood, sweat, and tears that so many of us put in, and then just to dip out. I knew eventually it was going to happen, but I guess for me, it's more of how we left as much as like just was it. I don't know. It was worth it to me, but in the long run, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Chris, how do you feel about that?
I do worry that we've done more damage than good. I mean, and it's a kick in the teeth just in the fact that so many people have sacrificed so much being over there, and it just feels like we took a big step backwards. I knew
Yeah,
the pullout was going to happen, but did we do it in the right way? It
that's what I was trying to
compared to
say
when
exactly. Yeah,
compared to when I was in, I mean, shoot, we'd be out in the field. If we left one piece of brass out there, we'd be out there all night trying to find it. But then we've just dropped a whole lot of very expensive and very dangerous equipment that we no longer have
yeah,
control of.
Yeah,
exactly.
that really concerns me, because we're talking about an army of people, and we've basically just given them millions and millions of dollars of military equipment and gear that they will in turn be able to use against their people and possibly us.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Exactly.
that's the scary part of it.
Yeah.
And I think what really got me is we should have pulled the civilians out first. I don't know how it got left up. I don't know if some of the civilians didn't want to leave, but that should have been the first thing we did, was get the civilians to safety with several extraction points rather than just one. And that's what we're running into now. We've given up ground. We've sent a lot of the troops home, and there's still civilians there. We need to get out, and they've only got one extraction point, and that's where ISIS is attacking, or at least ISIS claims to have been behind the attack.
Yeah. I'm curious, and maybe, like I said, so much of my opinion comes from just an outsider's perspective that was obviously never there, but is it does it seem strange that we've been there for 20 years, and in that time frame, we this was not planned out. There was not an exit strategy or a way to foresee this, and that it's just seemingly happened overnight, and that we had 20 years to try and figure some way to prevent this, and it's happening the way it is.
I think it definitely went haywire real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it seems like there might have been maybe at one point a strategy, and it just didn't go as planned. I mean, that happens all the time in the military. So I don't know, but it's definitely a slap in the face for because you have guys that come back with not just physical disabilities but mental disabilities, stuff that they'll carry on their back for the rest of their life. Um, at 22 years old, I was put in a position to make some grown man decisions. You know, so with all that being said, just the way that we dipped out. I know we still have one of our interpreters is in touch with some guys from our old unit, and he reached out to us trying to, see if he could find a way out of Afghanistan. So, I mean, I guess for that to happen, that's pretty intense. It's trying to watch my language because, I realize I'm on video.
No, you're fine. I would rather have the raw. I would rather have the real, you know, the real answers, the real experiences. You're hearing in the news that this is happening a lot. That interpreters that helped out different units while there, and I think now is when we're starting to really, those of us that did not serve over there, in the public eye, you're starting to now see how many people that our troops depended on over there, and they're being just left there in a circumstance where the forces that are taking over would love to, if nothing more than to end the life of anybody that helped us out.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And what
I watched an
another
interview with
thing?
oh, go ahead.
No, you good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say I watched an interview today with a special forces, retired special forces. I think he was a Navy SEAL, and he just mentioned all the different types of people that even SF relies on over there. The local communities, the local leaders, interpreters, uh, entire communities full of people that they rely on to get their mission done. So in turn, that's a lot of people that help out U.S. military forces when we're doing
Mhm.
operations in a foreign country. So that puts a lot of people in
Not
danger.
even it's not even just our military either. I mean, they help. I know we worked with the Aussies while we were over there. Um, Georgians, we worked with the Georgians a little bit. Um, the the fob I was on in Ghazni was a Polish fob. Like that was a Polish airborne fob. So worked with a lot of cool guys. But yeah, no, definitely. Every morning you'd see a line at the front gate of the fob where you'd have people coming into work that were just help the fob run in general on the bigger fob anyway.
What was it? Was it kind of was it short-sighted even so many years ago for us to seemingly, there seemed to be this hidden agenda that in regards to the way that we went in, that what we were trying to really do was change the political landscape in a part of the world that seemingly didn't have any desire to have that political landscape changed on their own without our influence. And here we are now, in put in a situation where all of these people that were helping out now are shunned back into whatever that was 20 years ago. And like you said, Chris, there's a question of, did we do more harm than good now in that aspect? Is there any? I mean, does that something that goes through your guys' mind?
It does.
I feel like we had what 20 good years, so there's an entire generation that has seen something different. You know what I mean? They saw a change, I guess, from what we've done over there. So I guess I would hope that because you have an entire generation that knows what it's like to have certain freedoms, that they're able to have some pushback a little bit, um, like rally against, if you will. Viva la resistance. I don't know. Um, so a bad situation could get better, I suppose. I don't know. I'm trying to be positive.
Yeah. Chris, what were you going to say?
And I agree with what Cody said. I think the only thing we can do is try to be positive about this, because if we're railing on and on about it, I know a lot of vets are pissed off. I felt pissed off. I felt cold. I felt scared. And the only thing we can do, I mean, I'm stuck at home on disability nowadays. I couldn't go back over there and fight if I wanted to. So we got to try and stay positive with it, but it's scary. It really is.
Well,
Our,
Also,
when we were
a
over
lot
there,
of
the
what we were
enemy
doing over
was,
there. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, when we were over there, at one point in time, the enemy was the Taliban, and now we're actually trying to work with them on the back out. So they're the governing body right now that we're actually dealing with, which is kind of scary too.
yeah, that part's really mind blowing.
Oh man,
What were you going to say, Cody?
I don't even know anymore, man.
Well, I don't think, and I know that this is the struggle for any of the vets like yourselves that did serve over there, is the constant now questioning of, because of this switch has flipped so quickly, and now you second guess, different parts of the mission that was over there, and like you said, what did we do more harm than good in some ways? But I see it from a very positive aspect of one of the huge successes of our time over there was that we ridded the world of some very, very, very dangerous people.
That we did.
There may be other people that have come up, or that have tried to come up in their place, but it's a much different world now than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Another thing that
they're
when we
trying
were
to,
there, we were keeping everything at bay. We were keeping things from happening over here. Now that we're not there anymore, there's no one there to stop them from building up and planning out what they want to do next. That's another thing that kind of concerns me. Like, now that we're not there, they're only going to get stronger to bounce back at us, because that's what they do. So I almost can guarantee we're going to go back over there. It's going to happen eventually. We're going to have to go back up there over there, and it's going to be like when we came into Iraq. That first initial push back in Afghanistan is going to be a big push to flex back, to be like, all right, we can't have this going on. Like, we're here to fuck shit up. Let's go.
yeah.
So I can almost guarantee that's going to happen, because we can't just let the Taliban do. Oh my God. Listen, anybody that was over there, like my buddy said it best, there's like a special hatred that people that serve that they have for the Taliban. Just, they're not, I don't even want to say people. I don't want to sound like a shithead, but like they're terrorists. They're awful. The things that they do are awful. So to work with them just fucking blows my mind that that would even be an option. So they kill soldiers, they kill civilians. They do it just to make points or just for fun. Like, so why would we work with them at all? Period. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing to me that struck me as so odd about this, is that it's not like we're just handing the country over to another political, regime that's just stepping in to take control of their country. I've been told by some other men that served over there that the Taliban is pure evil in their eyes. That there's not one part of the Taliban, I guess, mindset that is something that you can hang your hat on and say, well, yeah, but that is okay. It's from
I
those
got
that have
nothing.
served. That's the
I got nothing.
Mm.
yeah.
It's just an extremely, well, extremely, it's purely an extremist view, an ideology that extremist views for anything is a bad thing, but
No, absolutely.
they take it pretty far.
Yeah. Well, guys, I don't know. I mean, I wanted to reach out because I wanted to find out and just have a discussion about from guys' perspective that was there. Um, it it worries me, and so I can only imagine what it feels like for you guys that served. The manner in which we are leaving like this, and seemingly, like you said, just handing over so much to an organization of individuals that we fought so hard to even, you know, to make sure that they didn't even exist anymore.
Exactly.
I do you think that there's I mean, I don't know, to try and put a positive spin, if there is such a thing, is there something that we can take from this experience? I mean, of the last 20 years, to say, I know, Cody, you talked that there were some positive, things that you were involved in while you were there, but
Mm.
do you think that there's any way that we can take some positive out of what we know now?
Um,
And maybe it's too soon.
I don't
Maybe it's
know.
just too soon for us to see.
I mean, I'm sure farther down the road there will be more positives when you look at it. Um, right now I'm kind of salty, so I don't see a lot of positives about it right now. But then again, flex with attitude. So um, I'm sure something positive could come out of this, but I don't know.
What do you think, Chris?
Well, I'd say best case scenario, it could be a lot like when we ran into Iraq in 2003. We'd already been over there before. The Iraqi soldiers knew how we fought. They knew the Geneva Convention. They knew we followed the rules of war. So up until a certain point in the country, we didn't even see resistance. As soon as they saw the tanks rolling across the border, they were walking up with their hands up, waving the white flags because they knew they'd get, with us as a prisoner of war, they'd get treated better than they were being treated by their own government. And I think down the road, if we go back into Afghanistan, if we ever have to, it may be a similar situation. We didn't meet any resistance until we got to the Medina Force, the hardcore Ba'athist believers and things like that.
I hope that's the case. That would be another thing is like our kids, the next generation that if we got to go back hard at it, that's a whole nother generation that's getting involved in some shit that I don't want my kids to get involved in. You know what I mean? Um, I,
Yeah,
I hope it's like that. I hope we go back and it's how it was for you on 2000.
yeah. You just said something that gave me chills. I'm not one who, I could be completely wrong on this, so maybe I shouldn't even say it. But historically speaking, but this next generation might be. I don't know if it's happened in other, in the other several hundred years of different countries, but this might be the first generation of people that we're raising right now that has to go back in to the same places that their parents fought in and fight the same war that they fought in once again. And I don't think that that's happened in American history. I mean, truly speaking. So that part gives me the chills, and it's not something that is obviously a positive thought.
Right.
One thing that I've seen written about a few times, and this kind of goes back to those of you who were there, not that were there on the ground to see it in person, but I've seen some people say that too much time was spent trying to win over or too much time was spent trying to train their military as opposed to trying to win over the people. But I kind of take it the other way, because if the ideology is not there, if they don't follow what our beliefs are, you're not going to change those people. You're not going to change, their views. But it seems like maybe more time could have been spent training their people to be able to run their own country when we could leave. Would that be an accurate thought? I don't know. I don't know how much of the time you saw spent over there was. I know we had a great deal of our guys that were our men and women over there that were training them, but do you think maybe more of a focus should have been on that, so that we could just kind of hand it over to them and they wouldn't just raise their hands up and go, okay, you can take our country back? I don't know if that's even
And that's the problem with dealing with any kind of terrorist organization, is even if you're setting up elections, it's the terrorists are going to say, hey, if you show up and you vote, you're going to get shot, no matter who you are. They've done it in Iraq. They've done it in Afghanistan. They've done it in countries all around the world, and they will back it up. So you really have to get the people willing to take that risk. And I think in this case, it was just too daunting of a task for them to go against.
I know one of our bigger tools that we had doing route clearance. That's what I did. I did route clearance. We drove down the road looking for IEDs. We find them, we blow them up, and drive on. One of our bigger tools that we had in our pocket was actually the locals. So I know for us, hearts and minds was one of the things that we would use on occasion, where our lieutenant would go eat with the village elder and just build those bonds. So when people did roll through and there were IEDs in the road, the village would, like, the elders would tell us, like, hey man, there was somebody digging up here. Or so they did help us with a lot of stuff like that. So hearts and minds in that aspect, that's what I saw. I know it didn't work I hear a child. It didn't work every time, but you'd be surprised. It's treat people how you want to be treated aspect. If you go in kicking everybody's doors every day, waving a gun in their face, they're not going to want to fucking help you. So just a second, sweetheart. So the hearts and minds aspect of it is important. We had some of our guys train with the Afghan army a little bit, but that wasn't our job. So, but I can speak on the hearts and minds of people. Not all of it was a waste of time, believe it or not. There was some good that came out of it. So, yeah. I will be right back.
Okay. Chris, what are your experiences with that as well? I mean, did you, I know you said you served over there a few different times. Was it always the same, or did you notice a difference in the mindset of the people while you were there? The
mindset was definitely different between 2003 and then when I was back in 05 and 06. In 2003, I even noticed there was a complete difference between Kuwait and Iraq, where Kuwait, they just drove around, they had their oil fields, they didn't really care about anything, and they had all this money. Where in Iraq, they had nothing, but they had their families, and kids were happy to be with their parents, and the parents walking with the kids and things like that. And then when we got back in, and they were war torn there in 03. And then we got back in 05, 06, we'd had route security. There was a lot of things going on, and they seemed the people were amazing. They seemed happy. There's always some that are, going to try to take advantage and steal stuff off of trucks, but for the most part, they're really cool people.
Yeah. I think unfortunately the media does a really good job of showing the negativity and the hatred toward the U.S. By people in other countries. But that's I think where the media has sensationalized a lot of the negativity toward the U.S. and not shown enough of the thanks that you guys received and the cooperation that you guys received while you were over there from so many people that now they're going to be living in a different world. They're going to be living in a world that they've not known, like you said, in a generation.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I feel bad that I don't I don't really know where to go from here. I'm concerned because one of my brothers here in Indiana, his son is likely on the list of guys that if they have to go back over there is going to be going back over. So I don't know where to take that from there, but I just want to kind of express the obvious thanks to you guys, to all of your brothers, because your brothers and sisters that were over there, and that many of whom you guys, I know there's not a single one of you guys that of the men and women that served over there that did not experience loss in some way, shape, or form. And I know it would be easy for the memories of those people to be slightly lessened because of what's happened in the last 2 weeks. But I think the most important thing is to have you guys that were there as a voice for them, as a voice for the people that can no longer speak for themselves, that of the good that was done over there. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Um, I wouldn't, for me, it will never, I guess, take away or feel like it was for nothing completely because of what we did. We did a lot of good over there. Um, Man, like you said, everybody has a loss from over there, whether it's a friend, a brother, um, mental, you know, everybody left something over there that was there. And when we came back, it's that spot wasn't empty. It was just filled with a little bit of air. So everybody's going to carry something around with them. Um, we can be negative about it, and it's hard not to be, but being negative about it just brings back those demons. Um, so I know for me and my mental health, I'm really trying to stay positive about it, and it's very hard at times because there's days I'm like, this is horse shit. Um, but I would say encourage, especially for the ones that we lost, hold your shit together. Like try to keep it together, stay positive. Um, Reach out to your brothers. This is a big one. Reach out to your brothers that you served with. Don't just hit them up and say, hey, my phone's always on, man. My phone's always on. They're not going to call you, brother. They're not going to. So call them. Don't be afraid. If somebody's acting weird, ask them, hey, man, are you going to kill yourself? Because you're not going to put the idea in their head. If it gets to that point and you got to ask, flat out ask, take care of your battles, especially now with everything that's going on with Afghanistan. Like, reach out to the people you served with. Check on them, even if it's, hey man, you think this is horse shit? What do you think? I highly encourage all the vets out there, old and new, to reach out to your battles. Check on them, because the whole my phone's always on.
Yeah. I hear that.
So
What were you going to say, Chris?
I'm definitely going to put that out there.
Yeah.
I do that a lot, just to call to just ask them, where's your head? Where's your head at? How you feeling? You doing okay? And that
Right,
and
right,
that was
right.
something even a lot of the news media outlets have put up the Veterans Crisis line just in case with all of this going on, it may bring some of those demons back for a lot of veterans. So they've been putting that out there too, which is at least one positive. Just keep people aware that there is help there. You've got your brothers, you've got things in place.
Yeah. Yeah. Last thing I'll say to the same what you guys have said is, I was reading an article and I made a note about this because this one reporter that did a story on it, he was asking a veteran what his suggestion would be regarding the veterans that are going through some abnormally more upfront issues now in the last 2 weeks since the news broke. And he just said, reach out to your veterans and ask about their service, leave politics at the door, and just find out about the time that they served and talk. And I think that's awesome. One of the things one of the most positive things that I take from this is that so much of our lives, it seems like we're looking for inspiration. And so many times we look for it in strange places. But I think one of the greatest things about our country and the people that represent our country and our military is that you never have to look very far to see a hero. And it's nothing that you guys would think of yourselves as. But the fact that we still have so many men and women out there who raised their hand, there was no draft.
No.
You are a considerable group of men and women that raised your hand and said, I'm going to do this. And as long as we have people that are willing to do that, I think our country's in a good shape. So
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that's maybe that's the best way that I could leave it right now, because we just don't have any answers. But we have people like you guys, people that are willing to be there, and there are people that are going to come after you, willing to raise that hand up too. So I can't thank you guys enough for taking some time out and just talking through this. Whether it, I don't know, I have no idea whether it helped you guys out at all, just to help further process some stuff, but it helped me out because I don't get often to hear the side, to sit down with a veteran and hear a little bit about your experiences and what it was like for you guys and what must be going on in your mind right now, separate from what we're all seeing. So thank you guys for taking some time out tonight and just talking with me about that.
Again,
Absolutely, man.
thanks, VP.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. I'll let you get back. You got family time. We got kids. We got
going right now.
all the people out there that put smile on our faces. So get out there and enjoy that stuff. And I can't wait to see you guys. I know I'll be
Absolutely.
seeing you guys here in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
All right. Cody, Chris, thanks again so much. And take care. Stay safe. Call your battle
Absolutely.
guys. Call
Thank you
call
for
your
having
buddies,
me.
And stay active. Stay active in those groups and those chats, man. Talk to your
Yeah.
brothers. All right, guys. Thanks again.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Two things that stick out to me. It's always difficult for guys to talk about their experiences, and especially to talk about them with people that just don't know. It's a shared experience for many, and it's difficult for someone like myself to try to talk about it with them, to ask about it. And then come full circle to the family, to the ones we love, the ones that we do all this for. And to hear that small voice calling out to daddy in the background. I love that. I don't know why. It took all of my effort to continue my thought process while I was listening to that little voice calling out to Cody. And so I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. It's important that two thoughts came up. Two other thoughts came up as I was watching back and listening through that interview another time. It really struck me how Cody mentioned that everybody that was over there left a part of themselves over there. There's a hole. But the thought that hole is not empty, it's just filled with a little part of over there. And I'd never heard that explanation before. So that struck home. And then I think it's also important for me to acknowledge in this podcast that, of course, we weren't the only ones over there. It wasn't just the military forces of the United States. Several other countries were involved in that. Now, I can't go through the list because honestly, I don't know it. But I'm not short-sighted enough to recognize the fact that we weren't the only ones over there. So I think that a big thank you needs to go out to everyone from all the other countries that were also over there as well. As they said, reach out to your buddies and be the one that makes the call, not the one that's waiting for the call. If you are looking for an all-natural beard oil that will not only tame your beard and coarse hairs, but make your beard soft and smell amazing, check out Pulpo Beard Oils. Veteran-owned and made for today's beards, Pulpo beard products combine the best beard ingredients on the market with incredible customer service to ensure your happiness. Whether you need beard wash, beard oil, beard balm, or some fun clothing, Pulpo is the place to go. Feel fresh, feel savage, feel confident with Pulpo Beard Oils. Go to Pulpo Beard Oils, that's Pulpo beardoils.com, and use the code The Heart of a Villain for a discount on your order. Okay, guys, we're going to scroll right into our events calendar here and let everybody get back to their Friday night. Get back to your Friday night. Whatever it is that you've got going on, get out there, enjoy your time with the loved ones, because we've got other things going. We got other things going in the next few weeks. So let's just slide right into our calendar of events. If for some reason I do not have your calendar of events item on the list, please let me know, and I will make sure I get it on for the next episode, which will be 99. All right, September 10th through the 12th, coming up next couple weeks, the Four Corners Meet. The Four Corners Meet, hosted by the Bearded Villains in Phoenix, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah. Phoenix, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah. It's in Cortez, Colorado. The Four Corners Meet, remember, is for brothers only. No spouses, no girlfriends, no boyfriends, no anybody but villains. Just brothers. September 10th through the 12th, Four Corners Meet. We've got September 24th to the 26th. We're rounding out the month of September. Honestly, it's just a month away now. The East Coast Meet. The East Coast Meet. Hosted by the Bearded Villains of West Virginia. It's in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Parkersburg, West Virginia. It's going to be a weekend of fun, guys. I was at the last East Coast Meet. It was my first East Coast Meet a couple years ago, and it was one of the best things I did. It was a really fun event. The guys out east, man, they come out. They come out in very large groups. So it's always great to see. East Coast Meet, September 24th to the 26th. Then we slide into the month of October. October 8th and 9th, the Bearded Villains Missouri Valley has a beard competition benefiting the Friends of Kids with Cancer. Benefiting Friends of Kids with Cancer. Friday night, they have a meet and greet, silent auction, 50-50 raffle. There's a beard competition on Saturday at Tin Roof. It's all in St. Louis, Missouri. Bearded Villains Missouri Valley Beard Comp, October 8th and 9th. Then October 15th and 16th, I still don't have any details on this. I think they're just like out to get me on this. I think they're just trying to keep things hush-hush on me. October 15th and 16th, the Florida Summit. Since I'm way up here in Indiana, they don't want to tell me about it. I just know that it's the Florida Summit, October 15th and 16th. Heck, for all I know, maybe it's not even in Pensacola Beach. That's what I've got, but maybe it's not even there. I don't know. But hit up, well, you know what? Find somebody in Florida to ask them. Find somebody. Florida Summit, October 15th and 16th. Then up here in my home, up here in my area, northern Indiana, October 23rd, the week before Halloween. Get your costumes out, comb your beards, come on up here for an awesome time. It's our chapter's first beard competition that we're hosting. It's Ezra Crow's Halloween Havoc. Bearded Villains Northern Indiana are your hosts. It benefits the Ronald McDonald Houses of Northern Indiana. It's a beard competition, a costume contest, auction items, all sorts of good stuff. Come hang out with us October 23rd for Ezra Crow's Halloween Havoc. Then October 30th, if you didn't get enough Halloween, go the day before Halloween down to the Rocket City Boys. Downtown Halloween Bash. Rocket City Bearded Villains are having a weekend of awesomeness. They got the flyer is out there. Go out and check out that flyer. He's got so much stuff listed on there about what they got going on. It's pretty cool. Rocket City Bearded Villains, hit them up for the Downtown Halloween Bash. I know they're going to have a beard competition and a costume contest and other stuff going on. It's going to be a blast. So you got two opportunities there, October 23rd and October 30th, to do the trifecta of hang out with the peoples, do a beard contest, and do a costume contest all in one night. Oh, maybe it's a quadrifecta, if that's such a thing, because you got auction stuff going to both too. So, hey, do some good and have some fun. That's October. Then we go into November. November 5th through the 7th, the Slugger City Boys are back doing something good. The Slugger City Bearded Villains, if I can talk, Slugger City Bearded Villains in Louisville have the Slugger City Bash. Slugger City Bash beard competition. It's just going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. If you've ever been to Whiskerania, you know how everybody in that area comes together for a beard competition. Well, it's in Louisville. It's going to be a good time. November 5th through the 7th, Slugger City Bash. Then further into November, the weekend of November 12th through the 14th, there are two events for Bearded Villains to go to in two different parts of the country. So take your pick, but go to one of them. November 12th through the 14th, Battle of the Beards 2021. Battle of the Beards 2021, hosted by the Bearded Villains of Southern Indiana. I'm not exactly sure on the location in Southern Indiana. Usually it's in the Newburgh, Evansville area. I'll have to get that for you. But there's going to be a beard contest and all sorts of good stuff going on. They have raised a ton of money at this event in the past, so it's always a good time. Battle of the Beards 2021, November 12th through the 14th. If you're there, I will be there, so bring your wallets to buy me lots of drinks on my birthday, November 13th. So, do that. Also, November 13th, if you're in Virginia, the Bearded Villains of Virginia are celebrating their 6th anniversary with a beard competition at the Bunker Brew Pub. Bunker Brew Pub for Beards Away. That's what they call it, Beards Away. Hosted by the Bearded Villains of Virginia. 6th anniversary party. Good time. November 13th. You know what? If you want to PayPal me a birthday drink from over there, guys that are over at that one too, you can do that. I don't care. I'll let you. I'll let you. No problem. Beards Away, November 13th. Hosted by the Virginia Bearded Villains. Hit them up for further details. It's at Bunker Brew Pub. Then we round out November 26th to the 28th with the largest beard competition in the state of Louisiana. Bearded Villains Louisiana are your hosts, and it is the Cajun Beard Bash. Cajun Beard Bash. November 26th to the 28th. I know they got some dicey weather going on down there right now, but so prayers out to you guys right now tonight. But November 26th to the 28th, hopefully everything's all cleared up. The Cajun Beard Bash. Be a good time. There's vendors, prizes, food, music, and of course, the largest beard competition in the state of Louisiana. Very cool stuff. And then we round out the calendar events that I currently have here. In December, the first week of December, what is it? Well, December 3rd through the 5th. If you're over visiting or anywhere near our boys in Central England, over there in the UK, get over there because it's going to be cool. It's going to be a really cool event. They're just like going like gangbusters to get this thing set up and get everybody ready to go to it. It's Beardsterdam. December 3rd. I'm sorry, not Beardsterdam. It's Beardingham. You guys over there do so many cool things with your names of your cities. Beardingham, I'm sorry. So December 3rd through the 5th, it's Beardingham, hosted by the Bearded Villains of Central England. I am trying to work out a way to get over there, and I've been in discussions. I'm working something out. As I've said the last 2 episodes of this podcast, I ain't too proud to beg, and you might be seeing old BP here create a crowdfunding campaign so that I can get my butt over there to England to do Beardingham and be able to get some of those guys in on the interviews for the podcast and for the documentary film, but just to get over there and see our bros over in England. So you might be seeing a crowdfunding campaign come up pretty quick where I'll be out there begging for dollars so that I can get myself over there. So don't judge. Okay, guys. As I finish out our calendar of events here, I did want to take a second to mention the Lakeshore Bearded Villains today. Go out, check them out on Instagram. This is the Mars connection I talked about at the very beginning of the episode, where he sent the pictures to me a little bit late for me to get them up on the screen. But the Lakeshore chapter just released some cool merch. They have a new X Factor patch. They have, if I'm not mistaken, from what I saw, they have some cool stickers, like iridescent kind of rainbow effect thing going on with them. I hope I'm describing that right. But get over there, find Instagram, get over there to them on Instagram, the Lakeshore Bearded Villains, up in Canada, eh? Because they will set you straight. They'll get you set up with some really cool merch, and it goes on sale, if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow afternoon. Not ready tonight, but if you get out there, look tomorrow. They also have probably a video. Mars probably has a video of his announcement out on IG. Find it so you don't miss it. I think it's like 2 p.m. tomorrow when everything kicks off and goes off on sale. Really cool stuff, so you don't want to miss it. So I wanted to get that little bit into, even though he failed his mission in getting to me early enough so that I could really get it on the episode. Well, guys, that is it. That is episode 98. Episode 98. Got a cool surprise for episode 99 next week. You're going to hear the new theme song. I'm going to give the preview of the new theme song for the Heart of a Villain podcast. More details coming up on that. That's coming up on episode 99. This was episode 98. Guys, remember you can still buy those shirts, patches, pins, and all the good stuff at theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. Theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. That's where you can buy, that's where you can also listen to all previous 97 episodes of the podcast. That's it, man. That's it. I want to challenge all of you guys, as I always do every week, to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. Finally, guys, the most important words I say every single week. Remember, more than ever, it's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. So guys, for now, have a great night. Enjoy the weekend. Have a great week ahead. I will see you next Friday night for episode 99. BP's out. Have a great night. Take care. Stay safe.